Greetings, soul friend. My name is David McLeod, and I am your life mastery coach and a senior partner at the Wellness Universe. I'm also the author of the book, A Life to Die For, and one of the co-authors of the best-selling series, The Wellness Universe Guide to Complete Self-Care. Welcome to Life Mastery Soul Memos, my monthly series aimed at helping you to expand and magnify your life, one simple idea at a time. The topic for episode 30 is Embracing Truth. If you are anything like me, then there's a good chance that you have been conditioned to some degree to avoid saying things that might inadvertently hurt someone else. I remember receiving certain messages as a child. At the time, I simply accepted that this was what all children had to go through, and there was nothing I could do to change it. I didn't really think about the disempowering nature of these messages until I reflected back on them much later in my life. One major message that comes to my mind is children should be seen and not heard. Maybe you've heard this one yourself. Clearly, it is intended to shame children into silence, to prevent them from speaking whatever is true for them in the moment, especially if that truth brings up discomfort for another person. Another one that I remember hearing quite a bit as a child, and even occasionally as an adult, is this. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Well, this message is a little more insidious. First of all, it is saying that everything you say has to be tempered so that it appears nice to whoever hears it. Of course, the definition of nice depends on the person being spoken to. And secondly, it has the unintended consequence of inhibiting you from speaking any kind of truth that might be perceived as uncomfortable. Or maybe you heard messages like, don't make waves, or don't rock the boat. These messages always seem to arrive the moment after you started to speak up about something that seemed off-kilter to you. So there was no mistaking the intent. You probably learned very quickly what kinds of statements or actions would be classified as wave making or boat rocking. We've all experienced a variety of messages during our childhoods that led us into behavior patterns that have persisted into our adulthood. But what's the real cost to us if we allow ourselves to continue in these habitual patterns? One obvious consequence is that we might avoid speaking our truth in order to avoid conflict. Indeed, we could grow so sensitive to how other people might react that we tend to avoid speaking up altogether. In a very real sense, we slip out of integrity with who we really are in an effort to show up as someone we are not so that we can keep other people happy. While we are so busy working hard to keep others happy, we forget about ourselves and slowly become more miserable over time. I think it's time to break this cycle. I think it's time for everyone to embrace truth. Of course, this does not mean being cruel about it. Truth does not have to be harsh and painful. It doesn't have to be delivered at the end of a rifle or any other weapon. Believe it or not, it is possible to speak truth in a compassionate manner and to be loving and kind if someone has an emotional reaction. Truth in and of itself has no emotion and no agenda. Truth simply is. When you can see it that way, you can always find a gentle way to deliver it. When someone resists the truth you offer, it's often because your message has touched a tender spot in the other person's ego mind, which is almost always defensive in its positionality. The ego mind has built up its own treasure trove of beliefs. And anything that comes along and contradicts one of those beliefs is almost certain to trigger a defensive response. So if you can deliver your truth from a place of compassion, then you can understand that the reaction is not about you at all, but rather about the inner trigger that is related to a perceived attack on the deeply held belief. The main message I want to deliver today is that everyone is empowered to connect with truth. If we can quiet our ego minds enough, we can always open ourselves to the inner wisdom of our soul. When we make that connection, we can become an open channel for truth to awaken and empower us in ways that we might not have experienced before. The more we do this, the more we realize that truth need never be wrapped up in special packaging with colorful bows and fancy paper. As we practice compassion and kindness, we can also understand that truth is best delivered in its natural state, naked, transparent, and utterly beautiful. Just a quick reminder about my year-long program on the Wellness Universe Lounge called Grateful at Last, a guided tour to life's greatest gift. Lessons are offered on the third Thursday of the month at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I invite you to come join me as I guide you on a journey through 12 critical waypoints that will help you understand, develop, and practice the skills that will help you to create and live the life of your deepest heart's desire. You can find more details and register on the Wellness Universe Lounge website at https://bit.ly/grateful-at-last. Also, if you are looking for articles, videos, and other powerful content that can help you to improve your life, I invite you to check out my website at yourlifemasterycoach.com. Grab a copy of one of my free ebooks right there on the front page and sign up for a free account so you can get access to everything else I offer there. Remember, the old messages you learned as a child don't need to determine your choices anymore. You are now an adult with adult powers and adult capabilities that you didn't have access to when you were a child. I encourage you to invite and embrace truth into your life as much as possible. Share that truth as compassionately as you can and be willing to stand in that truth in every moment. Until we meet again, I wish you love, light, and blessings on your journey. I'll see you next time on Life Mastery Soul Memos. Bye-bye.